Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Anyhow, I wanted to just start today, start this week off with a little bit of worship, and I wanted to. I'm just going to read some verses to you from a Song of David. It's in First Chronicles 16. I'm going to actually start in verse 29, but um, David, the ark had been captured at one point, and David had gotten it back, and he had brought it back to Jerusalem, and he was placing it into the tabernacle. So this is a part of his song of thanksgiving. He says, "Give to the Lord, O families of the people. Give to the Lord glory and strength. Give to the Lord the glory that's due his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship the Lord in the beauty of his holiness. Tremble before him, all the earth. The world also is firmly established. It shall not be moved. Let the heavens rejoice. Let the earth be glad. And let them say among the nations, the Lord reigns. Let the sea roar and all its fullness. Let the field rejoice and all that is in it. Then the trees of the wood shall rejoice before the Lord, for he is coming to judge the earth. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever." So I just want to talk to you a little bit about worship. You know, worship is uh, probably, if you talk to your friends about church and you go to different churches, probably one of the things you talk about is the differences in worship between the two churches. We talk about the differences in worship even within a church, right? That I guess worship I've been in ministry over 30 years. It's always been uh, something that's talked about and discussed. I guess it's always going to be that way. Worship music has become a, multi-million, if not billion-dollar industry in its marketing and sales. Worship is just, it's always on the tip of our tongues. But I think we might talk about worship so much that we lose sight of what worship is really about. I just want to give you three things about worship and as you approach God. First of all, reverence. When you come to worship, come with reverence, and what that means is you have to understand that God is greater than you are. You have to understand that God is bigger than you are. You have to come surrendering and submitting yourself to Him and understanding that He is a great and mighty God. He is the creator of the heavens and the earth. He is the sovereign God. He is the one who speaks and things happen. He is the one that we need incredibly. We have to come to Him in spirit. You know, Jesus said that those who worship Him must worship in spirit and in truth. Worship has to come from your heart, right? Look, worship isn't about whether or not you raise your hands or don't raise your hands. Worship isn't about whether or not you take a lap around the sanctuary or you don't take a lap. It's not about whether you're hopping up and down or you're not. What matters is, are you doing that in your heart? What matters is worship coming from your heart? Is worship coming from your spirit? Is your spirit worshiping God? Is your spirit coming and bowing down to the Lord? Is your spirit coming and treating God like He is the Almighty King? Is your spirit coming in that reverence? And then another thing to do is praise. Just acknowledge God for His worth. Tell Him how great He is. Tell Him how awesome He is. Give thanks to Him for whatever He's done for you and in you and around you. Acknowledge that He is your fortress. Acknowledge that He is your rock. Acknowledge how much you need Him and how much He has always come through with you and for you. You know, another thing that's important. I was only going to do three, but I'm going to go ahead and do four. You need to have a place to worship. Now, I know in our culture, we like to think that you don't. But let me tell you something. In the Bible, they always had a place to worship. You go back to the Old Testament. Every time they encountered God in some magnificent way, they built an altar there. And oftentimes they came back to that altar and they were able to worship there. They always had a place to worship. David wanted to build a temple for God really bad. He didn't get to do it, but his son Solomon did. There was a temple. Even when there wasn't a temple, there was a tabernacle. There was a place to come and meet God. And even in the New Testament, yeah, I get it. But when you have a place that you hold as revere and that you hold as holy ground and a place where you can go and worship God on the Lord's day, when you begin to go to that place, your heart and your mind will automatically begin to get into this spirit. It will automatically begin to come to a place of reverence. It will automatically begin to want to praise God. You need to have a place where you worship God, where you reverence him, where you do it in your spirit, and where you praise and give thanks to him. Worship this week. Worship the Lord. Worship him this week. God bless you guys. Get out there in faith today. Love you. Bye.